Right, so you've tuned in for the infamous Senna review, have you? Well, you seem to be in luck because it's coming up right now. So basically, Senna is a film about the racing driver Ayrton Senna, who tragically died in 1994 in a race when his steering column broke and he careered straight into a wall, and it killed him pretty much instantly. The film is a documentary about his life and tribulations in and outside of Formula One. I'm not really a massive fan of documentaries, but this film does justice to how great a driver he was, and also the kind of man he was outside the car. Yeah, it focused heavily on, you know, his debut, his rise in the sport of Formula One, and how he eventually became a well-known household name. His rise to fame is pretty much immense, and something which you won't find today. People that are arriving in Formula One now are well known through Formula Ford, Formula 3, Formula 2 or any other mini formula to Formula 1. Yeah. The film grabs your attention every second of the way. It gives you information that you may or may not already know, and it just keeps throwing it out, yeah. Giving you information here, giving it there, bringing it on, and it's just, my God, it's just phenomenal in the way that it's made, in the way that it's edited together, and it's just, maybe documentaries tend to be sort of like talking about the man that the documentary is about, but this one actually shows you the man in the car, outside the car, doing what he does, you know, how great he was. He was also a family man, and gave quite a lot to a charity to help children. As you may or may not know, he's Brazilian, and at that time Brazil had a bit of famine on the go. Well, that's the wrong phrase, but it was quite ravaged with famine and stuff, so he used to anonymously give money to the children in Brazil, his hometown, and you can tell he was proud to be Brazilian, especially when in his third season with McLaren, I think it was, he finally, against all odds, won the Brazilian Grand Prix. It shows you the emotion he had. It shows you the struggle he had to get to that emotion, given that his car sort of didn't work for a while, and he struggled on, and eventually, because it meant so much to him, so much to his country, so much to his family, he drove with his heart and got that victory. This film is amazing. Man, wow. Just an amazing driver, an amazing film, and yeah, unfortunately his rise to his highest fame when he left McLaren and joined Williams was the year that Formula One became not as safe as it was in years past. So it's just amazing that you've got all that stuff, and well, yeah. Excuse me. You just, people, you know, whether you're a fan of Formula One or whether you're not, I know that if you've managed to catch this film, you will have been blown away, just like I have. I went to see it with Manesh and Andy, and Andy's not a fan of Formula One, and he really enjoyed it. So it's not really fan specific, it's just well made and absolutely amazing. Oh man, it's just, my God, I can't actually describe it in a way which would be befitting to the documentary itself, and I apologise for that. It's just quite emotional when you look back at the whole timeline of his life, his times, his career, his tragic ending, his death, you know. It's just, I've got absolutely no criticisms of this film at all. It's just a shame that, you know, he died when he did. There's probably loads and loads that could have been mentioned which weren't actually shown. So, you know, it's just quite ridiculous that someone could, you know, record a documentary years after the events of his life, string it out and, you know, put it together like that. I'm just completely blown away, frankly, and I know as a budding filmmaker myself I wouldn't be able to do something like this on someone that died like this. So, you know, I mean, it's hard to find the words, given that it's just so amazingly well done that, oh my god, he's just probably one of the best fucking films I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just, what can I say really? If you haven't watched it, you've missed out. If you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, it's just incredible. One other thing I will talk about is how most documentaries would end with, like, sort of a fact about how he, you know, just end at the moment of his death or whatever, but this one didn't. It was a nice touch in that how the work he did before he died influenced people around him to do the same work. So they set up a foundation after him and continued to do the work that he did, and it still goes on today. And a few of the people involved with Formula 1 today, in 2011, are still involved with his charity. His countryman Rubens Barrichello is one of the people in there, and you may not know, but Barrichello was an up-and-comer when Senna was in his prime, so it all goes round and round. And, you know, I'm sure Felipe Massa is as well, and he's another Brazilian driver. Just, Senna is one of, if not the best driver that ever lived. I'm not really one to comment on drivers or not, but I was a massive fan of his, although not at the time of his career. I watched Formula 1, but I wouldn't say I had a favourite driver at the time. I know I got particularly annoyed in Monaco 1992 when Nigel Mansell couldn't pass him, but I was young and, you know, didn't really understand what was going on. But in the years that I've grown up and matured, I've actually regarded Ayrton Senna as one of the best drivers ever, so that's where I stand on it. So yeah, forgive that interruption. Yeah, just amazing really. I know I've waffled a bit, but I can't actually find the words to describe this film. It's so amazing, so yeah, it's just inspiring really to see a man of that talent and that selflessness to do what he did. And he's one of the main contributors to why Formula 1 is safer these days, because electronic aids are allowed. I'm pretty much out of things to say, and I need to watch this film again. It is so amazing. So thank you very much for listening, and keep an eye on my written blog. I will explain this video in more detail there. So thank you. Goodbye.